Welcome back, my fierce and visionary Sigma ladies, to the Sigma Lady. Today, we're unveiling 10 revolutionary tactics that will completely change the way you handle toxic people. Ways so sharp and unconventional, they'll keep manipulators guessing. Here's a thought to set the tone. You don't rise by climbing over chaos, you rise by refusing to be part of it. This video isn't about defense. It's about owning your power, rewriting the rules, and leaving toxicity in the dust. If you're ready to embrace these bold strategies, subscribe now and join the Sigma Sisterhood. Let's rise together. 1. The paradoxical agreement. Sigma ladies are masters of mental strategy, and the paradoxical agreement is a tactic that leverages wit over confrontation. Toxic people often engage in arguments or demands to assert control, but Sigma ladies sidestep this dynamic by agreeing in unexpected ways that highlight the absurdity of the manipulator's behavior. For example, imagine someone at work blames you for a project delay, even when it's not your fault. Instead of defending yourself in a heated exchange, you might respond with, "You're absolutely right. I clearly should have invented a time machine to get this done sooner. I'll let you know when I patent it." This response is calm, disarming, and dripping with subtle sarcasm, leaving the toxic person with no ground to stand on. Why does this work? Toxic people thrive on opposition and tension. They want you to react emotionally, to explain, defend, or apologize. When you agree in a paradoxical manner, you deny them the satisfaction of conflict while simultaneously exposing the ridiculousness of their accusations. It flips the power dynamic entirely. To use this effectively, it's important to remain composed. Deliver your response with a smile or neutral tone to avoid escalating the situation. The aim is to showcase your unshakable confidence while allowing the toxic person's behavior to unravel in the light of your clever agreement. 2. The time as leverage principle. Toxic people often create urgency to corner their targets into making decisions or reactions without proper thought. Sigma ladies counter this manipulation with the time as leverage principle. Instead of reacting on the spot, they take control by delaying their response, creating space for clarity and strategy. Let's say a friend frequently guilt trips you into last-minute commitments. Rather than immediately declining, or worse, agreeing out of pressure, you could respond with, "I'll need some time to think about that. Let me get back to you later today." This simple delay puts the power back in your hands. It prevents the manipulator from pushing you into a decision and signals that your time and boundaries matter. Using time as leverage also works wonders in high-stakes situations like workplace conflicts. For instance, if a colleague aggressively demands a quick answer during a meeting, the Sigma lady might say, "That's an important question. I'd like to give it the consideration it deserves. Let me follow up with you by end of day." This response shows confidence, thoughtfulness, and a refusal to be rushed. Why is this so effective? Toxic people rely on impulsivity to create chaos. When you slow down the tempo, they lose their advantage. It's like a chess game. By delaying your move, you gain the upper hand in anticipating theirs. Pro tip: while delaying your response, use the time wisely. Evaluate the situation, consult trusted advisors if needed, and formulate a clear strategic reply. The power of this tactic lies not just in buying time, but in using it to your advantage. 3. The shadow dance. The shadow dance is one of the most subtle yet impactful tactics in the Sigma ladies' arsenal. It's all about sidestepping toxic energy entirely, allowing it to dissipate on its own. Rather than engaging with negativity head-on, the Sigma redirects her attention to more meaningful pursuits, leaving the toxic person's efforts to fade into irrelevance. Picture this. A toxic family member constantly criticizes your lifestyle choices, hoping to provoke an emotional reaction. Instead of defending yourself or retaliating, you simply nod, smile, and say, "Noted," before changing the subject or leaving the room. This isn't avoidance, it's a deliberate choice to prioritize your peace over their chaos. Why is this approach so powerful? Toxic individuals crave engagement. Whether it's an argument, a debate, or even an apology, they want to draw you into their web of negativity. By refusing to participate, you rob them of the fuel they need to sustain their behavior. Over time, they may even redirect their toxicity elsewhere, realizing that you are not a willing target. The shadow dance also applies in professional settings. If a colleague habitually undermines you during meetings, don't retaliate. Instead, let their behavior speak for itself while you continue to excel in your work. Your silence and focus will speak louder than any rebuttal, earning you respect while isolating the toxic individual. To master the shadow dance, you must practice emotional detachment. This doesn't mean suppressing your feelings, but rather acknowledging them privately while choosing not to act on them publicly. Remember, every moment you spend engaged with toxicity is a moment taken away from your growth, goals, and happiness. The information detox. Toxic individuals thrive on knowledge. They gather information about you, your goals, and your vulnerabilities, using it as ammunition in their manipulation. Sigma ladies counter this with an information detox, sharing only what's necessary and guarding their private lives like a fortress. Imagine a coworker who is notorious for gossip. While others might casually share personal details, the Sigma lady keeps conversations surface level. "I've been staying busy with projects," or "just keeping up with life." These responses are friendly, but intentionally vague, leaving no room for exploitation. This tactic is not about being secretive or aloof. It's about selective disclosure. Sigma ladies understand that not everyone deserves access to their inner world, and they reserve their trust for those who have earned it. By carefully controlling what they share, they protect their peace and maintain the upper hand. Why is the information detox so effective? Toxic people often create drama by twisting truths or spreading misinformation. By offering only neutral, non-specific details, the Sigma denies them the fuel they need to cause trouble. It's like starving a fire of oxygen. It simply can't grow. To master this tactic, pay attention to your boundaries. Before sharing anything, ask yourself, does this person need to know? And how could this information be used against me? Over time, this practice will become second nature, empowering you to navigate relationships with clarity and confidence. The reverse spotlight. Toxic people often seek control by putting others on the defensive, using criticism, blame, or subtle digs to shift attention away from their own behavior. Sigma ladies flip this script with the reverse spotlight, calmly redirecting the focus onto the manipulator's actions. For example, if someone criticizes your choices with a comment like, "You're always so difficult to work with," a Sigma lady might respond, "That's an interesting observation. Can you give me a specific example of what you mean?" This simple question forces the toxic person to explain themselves, often revealing the weakness in their accusations. The key to this tactic is tone. Stay composed, curious, and non-confrontational. Toxic people expect defensiveness, so when you respond with calm curiosity, it unsettles them. The conversation shifts from being about you to exposing their intent. The reverse spotlight isn't just a defense mechanism, it's a tool for truth. By gently questioning toxic behavior, Sigma ladies encourage accountability without resorting to conflict. Over time, this approach can even prompt some individuals to reflect on and change their behavior. Pro tip: use this tactic sparingly. Not every situation warrants a response. Save the reverse spotlight for moments when it can create meaningful clarity or disrupt a toxic narrative. 6. The emotional redirect. One of the most ingenious tactics Sigma ladies use is the emotional redirect. Toxic people are experts at provoking emotional reactions. They thrive on anger, frustration, and hurt. But instead of reacting, Sigma ladies channel their emotions into productive outlets. For instance, if a manipulative partner tries to instigate a fight, a Sigma might excuse herself and go for a run, using the physical activity to clear her mind and release tension. Or, if a toxic co-worker undermines her efforts, she might double down on her projects, using her frustration as motivation to excel. This tactic transforms negative energy into a force for growth. It's not about suppressing emotions, it's about redirecting them towards something meaningful. By doing so, Sigma ladies maintain their composure and prevent toxic people from gaining the satisfaction of a reaction. The emotional redirect also reinforces the Sigma's independence. It shows that her emotional state is not dictated by external forces, but by her own choices. This resilience sends a powerful message to toxic individuals: you cannot control me. Practical tip: identify your emotional outlets, whether it's exercise, journaling, creative hobbies, or meditation, and use them consistently. The more you practice redirecting your emotions, the more empowered you'll feel in any toxic situation. 7. The unwritten agreement. Toxic people often manipulate through unspoken expectations, creating a sense of obligation without ever making their demands explicit. Sigma ladies dismantle this tactic with the unwritten agreement, remaining intentionally vague and refusing to commit without clear boundaries. For example, suppose a friend frequently assumes you'll help with their errands, but never asks directly. Instead of automatically stepping in, a Sigma might respond to hints with, "That sounds tough. What's your plan to handle it?" This response acknowledges the issue without volunteering herself, subtly encouraging the friend to take responsibility. The beauty of this tactic lies in its subtlety. Sigma ladies don't confront or accuse, they simply refuse to accept implied obligations. This creates a dynamic where toxic people are forced to articulate their expectations, giving the Sigma the opportunity to set clear boundaries. Why does this work? Toxic individuals rely on ambiguity to manipulate, counting on their targets to fill in the blanks. By refusing to play along, Sigma ladies maintain control of their time and energy, preventing themselves from being roped into unwanted commitments. To master this tactic, practice being comfortable with non-committal responses. Phrases like, "I'll have to see how my schedule looks," or "let me think about it," can buy you time to evaluate your priorities and make intentional choices. 8. The strategic blind spot. Toxic people thrive on attention, often using subtle manipulations or underhanded comments to provoke a reaction. The strategic blind spot tactic is the Sigma lady's way of denying them the satisfaction of being acknowledged. By deliberately ignoring toxic behavior, she creates a scenario where the manipulator's efforts fall flat. For example, imagine a coworker makes a passive-aggressive remark in a meeting such as, "Some people just don't understand the importance of deadlines." Instead of defending herself or engaging in the tension, a Sigma might proceed as if the comment was never made, staying focused on her agenda. The co-worker's jab loses its sting in the face of her unbothered demeanor. This tactic works because it starves toxic people of the attention they crave. Acknowledging their behavior, even to refute it, validates their efforts. Ignoring them entirely signals that their tactics are ineffective, leaving them frustrated and powerless. However, mastering the strategic blind spot requires emotional control. It's natural to want to defend yourself or call out unfairness, but doing so often gives toxic people exactly what they want. Instead, channel your energy into what truly matters: your goals, your growth, and your peace of mind. Pro tip: pair this tactic with the information detox, point 4, for maximum effect. By withholding personal details and ignoring provocations, you create a fortress of calm that toxic individuals cannot penetrate. 9. The dual lens approach. The dual lens approach is a mindset shift that empowers Sigma ladies to navigate toxic encounters with clarity and perspective. This tactic involves viewing every interaction through two lenses, one focused on the immediate situation and another on the long-term impact. For instance, if a manipulative friend pressures you to prioritize their needs over your own, the immediate lens might show a moment of guilt or conflict. However, the long-term lens reveals the cumulative effect of repeatedly sacrificing your boundaries. By balancing these perspectives, Sigma ladies make decisions that align with their values and goals, even if it means facing short-term discomfort. This dual awareness is particularly useful in professional settings. Suppose a toxic boss assigns blame for a failed project. Instead of reacting defensively, a Sigma evaluates the situation through both lenses. In the short term, she addresses the issue professionally, ensuring her reputation remains intact. In the long term, she considers whether the environment aligns with her career goals and begins planning her next move if necessary. Why is this tactic so powerful? Toxic people often manipulate by focusing on immediate emotions, guilt, fear, or frustration. By maintaining a broader perspective, Sigma ladies stay grounded and make choices that serve their greater purpose. To apply this tactic, practice pausing before responding to toxic situations. Ask yourself, what does this mean for me right now? And how does this align with where I'm headed? This simple habit can transform the way you approach challenges, ensuring every decision reflects your strength and vision. The power of absence. The ultimate tactic in the Sigma ladies' arsenal is the power of absence. When toxicity becomes unmanageable, she doesn't waste energy trying to fix, fight, or justify. Instead, she leaves, whether it's a conversation, a relationship, or an entire environment. This isn't avoidance. It's an act of self-respect and empowerment. Imagine a romantic partner who constantly undermines your self-worth. A Sigma lady doesn't linger in the hope of change or validation. She calmly communicates her decision to leave and follows through, prioritizing her mental and emotional well-being over the illusion of stability. The power of absence is equally impactful in professional settings. If a workplace fosters a toxic culture, a Sigma doesn't stay out of fear or obligation. She plans her exit strategically, ensuring she leaves on her terms while moving toward a healthier environment. This tactic sends a clear message: my peace is non-negotiable. Toxic people often expect their targets to stay entangled, whether out of loyalty, fear, or guilt. By choosing absence, Sigma ladies disrupt this dynamic entirely, reclaiming their autonomy and creating space for growth. To harness this power, cultivate the courage to walk away when necessary. This doesn't mean making impulsive decisions. It's about recognizing when a situation no longer serves you and acting decisively. Remember, absence isn't weakness. It's the ultimate declaration of self-worth. 11. The paradoxical agreement. Sigma ladies are masters of psychological strategy, and the paradoxical agreement is one of their most clever tools. This tactic involves agreeing with a toxic person in a way that neutralizes their manipulation while highlighting the absurdity of their behavior. It's a combination of wit, confidence, and disarming calm. Here's how it works. When a toxic individual blames or criticizes unfairly, the Sigma Lady responds with agreement, but in a way that shifts the power dynamic. For example, if someone accuses her of being too independent to cooperate, she might reply, "You're absolutely right. I've worked hard to become independent. What about that bothers you?" This response not only diffuses the tension, but also forces the accuser to reflect on their own words. Why is this tactic so effective? Toxic people often bait others into conflict, relying on defensiveness or emotional reactions to gain control. The paradoxical agreement denies them this satisfaction. By calmly agreeing in an unexpected way, the Sigma flips the interaction, leaving the manipulator at a loss. This approach also empowers the Sigma to stay in control of her emotions. Instead of falling into the trap of argument, she maintains composure and confidence. Over time, this consistent calmness can deter toxic people from targeting her altogether. They realize their efforts will never succeed. To master the paradoxical agreement, focus on tone and delivery. A calm, neutral voice is key. Practice responses that reflect confidence without sarcasm, ensuring the tactic disarms without escalating the situation. 12. The information detox. Toxic people thrive on knowledge. They seek to gather details about your life, ambitions, and vulnerabilities to use against you. Sigma ladies counter this manipulation with the information detox, a strategy of carefully controlling what they share. This doesn't mean being secretive or shutting people out. Instead, it's about sharing selectively. Sigma ladies know that not everyone deserves access to their private lives, so they choose their words wisely. When asked personal questions by someone they don't trust, they might offer a neutral response like, "Oh, I'm just keeping busy with a few projects," or "Things are going well, thanks for asking." These answers are polite, but reveal nothing substantial. Why is this tactic powerful? Toxic individuals often manipulate by twisting the truth or exploiting details for their own gain. By withholding unnecessary information, Sigma ladies deny them the tools they need to create drama or exert control. The information detox also creates an air of mystery, which works in the Sigma's favor. People naturally respect those who are measured and intentional with their words. This selective approach not only protects the Sigma from toxic manipulation, but also enhances her influence in professional and personal settings. To implement this tactic, practice self-awareness. Before sharing something, ask yourself, does this person need to know this? And could this information be used against me? Over time, you'll become skilled at maintaining an effortless balance between openness and discretion. Sigma ladies, always remember, strength isn't just about standing tall, it's about knowing when to step away. The tactics we've explored today are more than just strategies. They're a testament to the quiet, unyielding power that defines you. Toxic people can only thrive where they're allowed to take root. By mastering these 10 revolutionary tactics, you not only outsmart them, but also build a life grounded in confidence, clarity, and peace. If this video has resonated with you, don't let the journey end here. Share this with your fellow Sigma ladies, subscribe to the Sigma Lady, and let's continue growing our sisterhood of resilience and empowerment. Until next time, stay bold, stay visionary, and remember, the Sigma Lady sets her own rules. See you soon.